Everyone, this is Mike from Dimensional Walking, and today we're going to do a video on giants. The giants video was requested by one of our most loyal followers. That we put that out there, that if you are interested in something in particular, and we have experienced it or covered it, etc., we would go ahead and do a video on it. So again, if there's anything out there you want to, in the world of paranormal, UFOs, etc., you want us to cover and do a video on, we'd gladly do some research on it. And we, especially since we've been in the this type of business, paranormal, etc., for over 50 plus years, we can cover quite a few different subject matter. Anyways, so today we are going to talk about an experience that Rainbow and I had in Utah. Now, this was the second time I lived in Utah, and the first time I did the Olympics there, ran all the logistics, and the second time I did some logistic work for some very large companies there. So anyways, we would, as you probably know, we've done other videos on experiences we had in Utah. On this particular experience, we were out in a place called Spanish Fork Canyon, and it's a beautiful area. It's an area that is kind of, I would say, semi-high desert. There is some trees, but a lot of scrub brush, a lot of hilly areas there. And one of the things it's noted for is its fossils. And also there's areas there where they have, dinosaur bones, etc. And so we went out there, and there's an area called Mill Creek right off the highway that you can go in there and you can dig around. You bring your tools and your one of the most important things, knee pads that you bring, and you go out there on these little hills and you dig around and you look for fossils. Well, we went there, and yes, we did find fossils. Most of them were plants and some bugs and some little small creatures. No dinosaurs or anything like that. But we really enjoyed ourselves. We got our a bucket of really cool fossils, and of course we brought them home, etc. So we went. So that was all cool. And so then a couple months later, we decided we were going to go back. Well, after the first visit, I just want to let you know that we didn't know that this was the beginning of a very interesting and maybe profound mystery that we had started. So we went back to the area and basically did the same thing. We went to these little hills, and we got some fossils, spent a lot of time there, etc. I guess one of the things that was a little strange this time, Rainbow said to me while she was digging, she said, "Hey, listen, there's some really strange energy coming from around here." And Rainbow being an empath, that isn't, she says that quite often. Basically, and then she said when she got up, she felt really quite dizzy. So we were a little concerned, and that kind of ended the trip there, and we got back in the car. But she said, "Hey, you know what?" I said, "Well, why don't we keep on going down this road and see what's down there?" So we went down the road, and suddenly Rainbow said, "No, we got to turn around. Something isn't right here." So I'm not, I pretty much, if she tells me to turn around and go the other direction, I respect her being an empath, and she's a really good one. So we turned around, we went back home, and that was all fine. We didn't really think too much about any of that. We didn't think about her being dizzy or the energy or anything like that. So we got home, and everything was fine. So let's fast forward a little bit. About 6 months after that, we moved to Oregon. And fast forwarding a little farther, about 4 months into being in Oregon, Rainbow was surfing the internet, and she came across this amazing video. And anyways, before I tell you about the video, I'm going to tell you about a dream Rainbow had when she got back to Utah, to when she got back to Oregon, when we got out here to Oregon. Anyway, she had this dream about these kind of giants. They looked like sort of like Vikings. They had beards. They had long red hair. The women were quite tall. Some of these, she described it as these giants to being up to 10, even 20 feet tall. The women had this long blonde braided hair, very much like Vikings. She said that they were in a cave or something that had all this silver and gold, and just described it in some pretty amazing detail. And anyways, they looked like they were sleeping, and they kind of woke up. And it was sort of like they were in kind of a stasis form, where they were kind of waking up out of the stasis. And they seemed to be congratulating themselves and telling, wow, kind of we got, I don't know if she actually heard words coming out of her mouth, but just their actions indicated that. And they were really happy. And Rainbow got the feeling that it was something to do with the years that we were in, 2015 and 2017 was when this happened. And she just thought there was some kind of a awakening that was happening for these giants, and something was going to happen. So she sort of kind of blew this off. She didn't, everybody has dreams, and she said this was unusual. This is very heavy in detail. And at this point, she hadn't connected with anything else. But then, like I said, about 4 months after we got to Oregon, she was surfing the internet, and she comes across this video. And it was by this guy's an anthropologist, and he's a very credible person. Apparently he's doing some research in what they call the Manti Caves in Utah. So anyway, so he does this wonderful video, in which I've attached a link to. I think it's important, if you're really interested in the subject, go ahead and see his video. But anyways, what we find out when we watch the video was that this video is about these giants in Utah. And it talks about, these giants are 12 feet tall. They're very tall, and they look like they have Viking background. And they describe the women with braided hair, and they talk about they're laying in these sarcophaguses, and they have gold and have these armor that looks like it's hanging on the wall. It's gold and silver and jewels, and it's pretty amazing. But it's in a cave, okay? So anyway, excuse me. So Rainbow was saying, oh my God, this sounds exactly what I dreamt about. So I said, wow, that does sound like what you told me. And so anyways, I get on the phone to this guy. I think his name was Robert, if I'm not mistaken. And he was this anthropologist. And so I told him about Rainbow's dream. And so I told him also about us going in this Mill Creek area and doing fossils. And I told him about what Rainbow's dream, and that she had these weird feelings when we were in this canyon, this creek area, and it was like a canyon, of course, etc. And so he comes to tell us that this is exactly where there's behind where we were, there's caves that probably would have butted right up to these hills, he said, just the way we described it. And he said that's amazing. I didn't really go into it, that she was this empath and some of the other things that were a little more detailed, but he was really amazed that she was able to describe it months earlier, before she even saw his video. So anyways, that's kind of the story of connecting the dots. And I really encourage you, if you're really interested in continuing to learn a little bit more about it, is go to the video link I put on. It's a YouTube video link, and I think you'd find some really interesting similarities of what Rainbow saw, basically from our little excursion getting fossils, because she really connects it to that experience. She really believes that is what she got there, that activated something in her that she ended up having this full-blown dream about these giants. So anyways, so that's it. It's short, but it's sweet, and I hope you enjoyed it. And please watch that other video, because I think you'll enjoy it even more when you hear what he has to say. So with all that said, thanks a lot, and please subscribe. If you want to send us some private email, you can send it to dimensionalwalking@gmail.com. Of course, you can comment here. If you like us. And that's it for now. We'll see you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.